All right, I'm Miss Katie.
I'm Mr. Patient.
Okay, that's the introduction.
Okay.
Okay, we're done. Okay, we'll try it again.
Take 2.
And I'm not sick, I just have lymphatic drainage. All right. Stop.
She's coughing.
I'm not sick. Okay, here we go. Hey y'all, I'm Miss Katie.
And I'm Mr. Patient.
Welcome to Heritage Ways, where we honor home, celebrate heritage, and spread hope. And today we're going to tell you about us. Who are we?
Where do we come from?
Where are we going?
What do we like?
Okay. Here's your introduction music. Alright, it's a beautiful spring day, and I actually did make a video a while ago of something else outside, and I put it in, and all you could hear was, you know, the wind. So we don't have one of those wonderful fancy wind mics or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called.
I don't know.
So that it blocks the wind outside. So here we sit inside our RV. But we're here to say howdy and thank you to all the new folks who have joined us in the past, you know, days, weeks. Yeah. And some folks might not know about us, and a lot have asked. I've got questions like, just tell us about yourselves. I've gotten things like, are these little children your grandchildren? How many children do you have? Do you live in an RV? Why do you live in an RV? And that kind of thing. So we're here. Here we are. We're going to tell you.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Where do we want to start?
Let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
You're not. That's,
okay,
you're
you
not
should know.
To do that.
Okay, you should know, and you're not. I'm not allowed to do that.
But you know what? Everyone knows it's windy.
Here's the thing you should know. If you're new, you're a little late to the party, but that's okay. We're glad you're here. And if you're
Come on in and join the fun.
If you're where everybody knows your name.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Okay, so the reason I say you're late to the party is...
they're always glad you came.
Okay, is because those who've been around for a while know that Mr. Patient, not so much lately, but months ago, he would break out in song because he is big music man, you know. He was in high school. What'd you do in high school as far as music?
I was a percussionist.
Now, some would say that the percussionist is the most important part of the walking band. Some would say that. So.
If it weren't for us, they wouldn't be able to stay in time. I'm just saying.
Okay, so there's part of who is Mr. Patient. So we are both from Middle Tennessee, born and bred and live there. I'm currently 52, 2.
Yes.
That one.
Yes.
Yes. I'm currently 52 and he's currently 51. So you do the math and realize who's the older. And so I say that to say we have lived within 50 miles of Nashville, Tennessee, all of our 50-something years. Up until a year and a half ago.
Except for the past 2.
And we'll talk about that in a minute. About 30 minutes from each other, but we didn't know each other till we went to college, and that's where we met. So I grew up, I lived in Nashville until I was 8 years old. And then my dad found a farm in Marshall County, Tennessee, and he was a preacher. He was also a school teacher. We lived in lower southern Middle Tennessee on a farm, and it ended up being 40 acres as Daddy kept buying, 11 here and so forth there. So it was a farm and 40 acres, no mule. And we had cattle and chickens. That's pretty much it. And a huge garden. Oh, we
Dogs
had
and cats.
dogs and lots of cats, and we had some geese at one point. Well, the house was built in stages, but it was started in 1830. And it was the cabin that was there originally was 1810, and then the house was built in 1830, and then additions in 1850, and the log barn in 1850. So I just have always loved old homes and old places and old people. That's why I love you. No, wait a minute. You're younger than me. Never mind. Yeah. I'm kidding. So that's how I grew up. And I grew up with, when I was younger, Mama stayed at home and she taught me all the home things. You know, everything. Except she tried to teach me sewing and I just couldn't. I didn't want to. And so now she's gone and I'm trying to teach myself. So anyway, that's how I grew up. I grew up on a farm. I grew up canning and learning how to can and freeze. Now, I'm not an outdoor lover. So I'm not going to lead y'all to believe I'm this, you know, rough and tough farm girl. I don't love the outdoors. I love being inside, specifically the kitchen. But that's okay. You know, somebody's got to put the food up when it's grown outside. Somebody's got to can it and freeze it. Now, I have pulled a calf. I've participated in that activity. Oh, we delivered a horse to get a colt, hadn't we? Yeah. And we vaccinated it. When I was pregnant with our third son, so I was hugely pregnant, and we were out here trying to deliver a cow. A colt, rather. How did you grow up, Mr. Patient? By the way, if you wonder how he gets his name, how he got his name, Mr. Patient, just stick around and you'll say, bless his heart, I realize it. All right, your turn.
Okay, so I grew up 30 minutes west of her in Murray County, Tennessee, and I did not grow up on a farm.
No.
We grew up right outside of the city limits on about 5 or 6 acres. We did have a horse for a while. We did have some,
Did you? I didn't know that.
We did have some cows for a while.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Where did you have them?
Back there in the back lot where Dad had the block.
I've never known this in my whole life. Are you making it up?
No.
Why are you just now telling me this? Like I've seriously never heard this. What did you do with the horse?
Not a lot. We didn't keep it long. I don't remember.
What'd you do with the cows?
Oh,
Beef cattle?
Well, we only had like 1 or 2, and we killed them to eat them. But one of them was so tough we couldn't eat it. We had to give it away to somebody who would eat it.
Okay, well, that right there, I don't think I would have admitted that. But anyway,
What?
I didn't know this.
Well, we only had like 1 or 2 cows and like 1 horse for a while. I don't even know why we had him.
We're all learning about Mr. Patient today. Okay, carry on. What else we gonna learn?
But anyway,
I didn't know that.
So I grew up more of a city life, or just right outside the city limit life.
I'd say your suburb life.
Suburb. I mean, like I said, it was 5 to 6 acre lots where I grew up, and the neighborhood that I grew up in. I say neighborhood, 5 or 6 acre lots. The area I grew up in, it was all boys. There was only like 1 or 2 girls, and there was like 15 boys. So, we were always outside. When school was out, we were always outside playing ball, baseball, football, basketball, any kind of ball. We were always outside playing and running around. And basically, we would only come in to eat lunch and supper.
Like when it wasn't school days.
Right, when it wasn't school.
Well, y'all had garden.
Yeah, we had big garden. We had a big garden. My dad, we had a big, huge chest freezer, and we would always freeze green beans and stuff in those little bags with the white boxes.
I know.
With the little
y'all
white
remember
boxes?
Those white boxes?
Yeah, you'd blanch them. You'd snap the beans, you'd blanch them, you'd put them in the bags.
You put them in the ice, then you put them in the bag, then you do the thing.
Put them in the bag, and then put them in the box, and close it up, and stack them in the freezer for later. So we had a big garden, and Dad he was always trying different stuff. He grew, I don't even remember all the
peanuts.
different stuff.
Remember he tried peanuts?
That was the one that really stood out in my mind, is he tried peanuts one time. He grew them, they grew great, they were nice and full. We pulled them out, we hung them in the basement to dry out, and I don't remember them turning out so well. It's almost like they never really dried out like they were supposed to, or something. I
just
know.
always remember the laughter Pop tried to grow peanuts. I don't know.
Well, hey, he grew peanuts. He did it. We just didn't know how. I mean, think about it. That was before YouTube. You had to go off the knowledge you had, or somebody else had, and you had to glean that knowledge from other people. And
old timey way of farming and
so I mean, he
helping
didn't know.
each other.
He didn't know how to do it. It was just something different to do, so he thought he'd do it.
What's the favorite thing your mama ever put up or canned or whatever? I think I know your answer, but...
Sweet lime pickles.
Yeah.
And she still does sweet lime pickles.
We got some over here in our
She doesn't have a garden, but she'll go to a farmer's market
good.
and she'll buy cucumbers and she'll make her sweet lime pickles, and she always makes sure I get some of them.
And I have that recipe tucked inside of a vlog video that I did like at our last farmhouse. All right, and then strawberry jam, your mama, and they always made that. Yeah. And then your grandparents lived next door, basically.
Yeah, they were 3 or 4 houses down the street.
So you grew up with
So we grew up with them. My mother was an only child, so my brother and myself were the sons that my grandfather never had. So I guess you could say he kind of spoiled us. But he was
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he was a big kid. He would get out there and, 50, 60 years old, he was playing just like he was 20. I mean, there was a man who worked hard, but he played hard too.
Good man. That's right. Mr. Patient and Miss Katie have 6 children and 2 grandchildren. So I was going to say the 3 oldest children are adults. They are, at this point, they are in their 20s. So they're 21, 24, and 27.
Right.
The older 2 are married, and the oldest has, go ahead,
2 children.
We have 2 grandchildren, a boy and a girl.
Actually, a girl and a boy.
That's right, if you're doing them in order. You're right. You're right. All right, and so then the 3 littles are adopted. So we are skipping a lot of our lives here, y'all. And some of what we're skipping is actually in videos in the past. So I might make a playlist of who are we, and I might put in that playlist any video that I think tells kind of who we are. So yeah, we prayed at one point for the Lord to send us children He wanted us to help, and we prayed for 1, and He sent 3. And so that is where we find ourselves right now. So I do have children who technically could be my grandchildren, and I do have 1 or 2 people every now and then say, oh, how nice that you're traveling with your grandchildren. And I say, no, I am almost 53 and I have an almost 9-year-old, so there's that. So yeah, we're very blessed, but this isn't, oh, you laugh to keep from crying? We're very...
Ain't nobody ever said that to me. I'm just saying. And nobody's ever said, oh, is that your grandson?
You and your gray beard, and nobody's ever said that to you. Okay, it's time to stop laughing about that then. So I graduated from college first, and I got a teaching job. So I was educated formally as a public school teacher, elementary school teacher, and I did that for a while. And then my heart has always been at home or for home or yearning for home. Knowing what I know now, would I really have gone to college to get that degree and become a teacher rather than just staying at home? You know what? No, I wouldn't. However, the Lord has used every step I've taken and every job I've had and every career I've been in to bring me to where I am today. And I could say that 3 weeks ago, and I'm convinced I can say that the rest of my life, because I look back at what I'm doing today, so to speak, whether that's yesterday or 2 months ago. I look back and I think, oh my word, I can't believe how this all fits together so well. So I was a public school teacher, and then, before that, I dabbled in all kinds of stuff. And I sold Mary Kay, and I sold Melaleuca, and I sold We Still Are Young Living Distributors. And I dabbled in different things all along the way. I had my own catering business. That grew out of having too much sourdough starter. So beware if you've got sourdough starter. But then I was the daycare director. I had 100 children. I had 25 employees, and at the start of that, it was 24/7. It was open 24/7. So I was there for almost a year, and I worked at Walmart a couple of different times in my life, before married and after married, and then finally we made the jump to stay at home, for me to stay home and homeschool the kids. So that's where I am now. I'm homeschooling the children, and it's, I don't even give, it is a full-time job, y'all. It's a full-time job, and on top of that, right now, honestly, doing all the Heritage Ways, everything, whether it's our website, all that keeps me so busy. And I have about 49 projects on the back burner that I'm wanting to start. So, that's what I've done in life. I mean, you know, I'm just always busy, and I'm always going to be, because that's what makes me happy.
All right, so I graduated college with a marketing major and a management minor, and I started working in a production facility making pencils and magic markers.
Actually, magic marker's a name brand.
Well, pencils and
colored markers
and permanent markers and water marker. I don't know how to say it.
Well, and Sharpies. Everybody knows what a Sharpie is.
Yeah, making pens, pencils, and markers. And then I moved over out of the production area into materials and supply chain, and was, I would say, probably in supply chain, mainly purchasing professional for 20 plus years. I was with that same company for 18 years. They shut the doors. I was unemployed or underemployed for a year and a half.
Self-employed.
Yeah, and self-employed. Well, underemployed.
Oh, well.
Because that was in 2009 time frame when the market was really bad, and it was hard. It was really hard to be starting a business during that time. And then I got a job with a food service company as a purchasing professional there, and worked there for 7 to 8 years, and then I retired.
So we retired because we felt like the Lord. And you know what? Let's not tell that whole thing, because that would take a long time to tell. Okay. And we might have already told that in a video or two, but long story short, when he decided to retire from the corporate world, a lot of things were going on with us, and a lot of catalysts that made us realize that time is short. His dad died suddenly. My mom died suddenly right after. I say suddenly, within a month of finding out diagnoses. And so we were looking to downsize anyway from our farm. All right, so we raised our 3 boys at the house where I grew up. And then when he lost his job and we got another job, he got another job in a different county, we had to sell that house and 40 acres, which was very sad for me to do. But we did it, and the Lord provided. So we moved into a modern farmhouse that was about 12 years old, I think. Yep. I think it was 12. And we loved that. And we have plenty of video of me in the kitchen and in that house.
And all kinds
that
of
you
going
can
on
see.
At that house.
All kinds of goings on.
Yep.
And so you can watch that.
And that was probably about 6 acres.
Yes, and we were just starting out. Like, he had just built a chicken tractor, a chicken coop and a tractor, and we had just built raised beds, and we were just getting a lot of things going with that farm, and had plans. And then we made the decision, and we felt like the Lord was asking us to sell that. We were going to sell it anyway and downsize, because our children were starting to leave home. And we thought this would be a great time for us to do something we'd been wanting to do, and that was to travel around, meet our social media friends, and find ways, frankly, just to serve and encourage folks, just to meet folks, to push back the darkness, to build community, to share life. That's it. No ulterior motive, nothing. And so he did quit his corporate job, and we prayed and still do and rely on the Lord's provision, and he has never let us down. The provision hasn't looked the way I thought it would sometimes, right? But he has never let us down.
And in fact, since we've been doing this, he's given us more than we could have ever imagined.
You don't need, okay.
From a provision standpoint.
And you're not talking about money.
Not talking about money. I mean,
provision doesn't always equal money, right?
Right.
So that brings you up to date of why we live in an RV. So we moved out of and give you some perspective, because you'll see this when you watch the videos. The house was about 4,000 square feet. It was 3 full levels. I'm thinking cake.
Yeah, you're going to make one, aren't you?
I've thought about it. I've tempted. Don't tempt me. I made you banana pudding the other day.
Well, that's been long gone.
2 days. It was 2 days ago.
I know, that's long gone. Time for cake.
Okay. Anyway, let's focus. So
hard to now that you're talking about layers of cake.
3 levels in the house, and you know, man, I miss my clothesline. We had 2 porch swings. I missed my porch swings. I missed my kitchen. And he had a house that was huge too. Now, we didn't build it. That's a shop, yeah.
Shop.
Yeah, shop.
Not a house.
You got me off with the cake. We didn't build what we're talking about. We, obviously, because it was 12 years old when we got it. But he had a huge shop. I mean, huge. So we were very blessed in that department, but we sold all that and bought the camper, bought the truck. You could see we documented all that on YouTube. So we thought we were going to do the traveling about 3 years, but it has been very, very hard. So here's the thing. That's where we find ourselves now. We are making some major changes in what we're doing. Now, we always had planned to do it a short time, and we were going to travel around, ask the Lord where he wanted us to settle in a next homestead, right?
Yeah.
And we wanted to listen to him and then settle in our forever the rest of the earth home and have our next farm. And so that is still the plan. So we're going to wrap this one up. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a second video to explain what we're doing from this point forward with our regarding traveling and settling, right?
Can do that.
Because the folks that already know us, they don't want to watch this video, but they're going to want to watch the second one, because we've had some amazing folks. We've met some great friends who have been with us from the beginning, and they know our whole story, and we're so thankful for them. But we're glad you're here now. We are very glad. We hope that you will hit the subscribe button. We are a family-friendly, family-oriented channel, but primarily, especially lately, it's just a lot of cooking, because that's me, you know. So every Thursday, Lord willing, I try to put out at 7 a.m. a cooking or food or kitchen-related video. So if you'll tap the bell, then YouTube is supposed to notify you when we upload videos. Share our videos with your friends if you don't mind, and let's grow community, because after all, our heart, our passion, our desire is to honor home, celebrate heritage, and spread hope. And every now and then, that means Mr. Patient gets a chocolate cake. Okay, let's sit here and get our picture to it. Here, sit up. No, look right. Look normal. This is for a thumbnail. What are you doing?
You said look right.
Look at the camera, Goofus.
Oh. You gonna push the button?
No, I'll get it when Okay, here we go.
It's not doing anything. Hello.